Hello everyone. In this lecture, we'll be understanding what are the HTML tables and how you can create tables in your web page. So this is going to be a long lecture. So sit tight and let's see. So HTML tables allow web developers to arrange data into rows and columns. So if you want to create a table like this on your web page, so how you can do that? So for that, first you need to define an HTML table. A table in HTML consists of table cells inside rows and columns. Let us take an example. So this is how a code looks. So first you need to write the table tag and you need to end it. What is tr, th? We will discuss all that, everything, right? So now let us talk about table cells. So each table cell is defined by a td start tag and a td end tag. So td stands for table data. Everything between the start tag of the td and end tag of the td are the content of the table cells. So for example, if you want to make a table like this, so you Emil, Tobias, Linus, whatever is written, it is written in a cell. So basically each cell is td. You can see the example. Each cell is td. Now let us see. A table cell can contain all sorts of HTML tags, like text, images, list, link, others, other table, etc. Now coming to table rows, each table row starts with a tr and end with a end tr tag. Now tr stands for table row. If you want to create two rows, so first in the first row this like tr, and you have closed the first row. So in the first row three names will be printed. Now comes the second row, and in this three names will be printed. You can see. So this is the table styling of table. You could do like that. Table style is equal to width, that is 100%. Now you in the first, this is the first row. If you write tr, so you write in the first row. So first row is what? Ml, Tobias, Linus. So Ml, Tobias, Linus, this is the first row. And in the then you initiate a second row, that is uh, tr. Then for each element you have to enter td. For example, if I want to make a new third row in this, so what I need to do, I will type td. Let us close this also, and let me just copy so that I could place my data quickly. Now what I have to do, for example, I write 1, 2 and 3 in this, and let me also close this with a tr ending tag. So now, so 1, 2, 3 will be a table row in this. So this is how you could create a table. Understood? So now what we have to do, so you can have as many rows as you like, just make sure that the number of cells are in the same row, are same. There are times where a row can have less or more cells than another. You will learn about this in later chapter, right? Now coming to table headers, sometimes you want your cells to be table headers. In those cases, use the th tag instead of td tag. So what you will do, th stands for table header. So if you want to, if you want a header cell, so as you create a row, so you will not write td, you will here write th stands for header cell, and in the rest you will write td. So this is how a table header looks like: person 1, person 2, person 3, like this. I'll also show you some examples for table. So let us say this is our html code, this is our body, table border is 1. Now there is, here is row tr, and then we have closed the tr, and in this td is there, right? And don't worry for the row span or t head, we'll be understanding each and everything. This is how a table code looks in VS Code, some things like this. All right, now let us go back and understand. So this was basic. Now let us see how we can add table borders. So adding table borders is very easy. What you need to do, you can use the css border property on table th and td elements. So how you can write, table comma th comma td, and you could tell border should be like 1 pixel, it should be solid, and the color should be black. So if you do like this, so you could create such a border, right? Now you have collapsed table borders too. So set the CSS border collapse property to collapse. Now how you could do? So first you will define the table th and td. The border should be 1 pixel solid black. Now you will tell border collapse. The value of this will be collapse. So here, as we have told you that in the head section, first you go to the style section, then you go to table th and td. You set the border, you set the border collapse value, set it to collapse. Now what will happen? No double lines will come, only single line will come. So this is how it works. Now you could also style table borders. If you set a background color of each cell and give the border a white color, the same as document background, you'll get an impression of an invisible border, right? If you want to create such a border, so what you need to do, you'll just tell that the border should be 1 pixel solid white. Now earlier these were black lines, now these are white lines, and border collapse, set it to collapse. And th and td, the background color, you could set the background color. We have already understood in the color section of html how color has to be taken. So if we do like this, so as you can see, what we have done in the style section, we have gone there and wrote table th and td. The border section is 1 pixel solid white, and then border collapse is collapse. Also th and td, the background color is this. So this is how you could style it, and then you could write your table. So this is how the table will come, and it will look neat and clean. So this is how it works. Now coming to round table borders, what you can do with border radius property, the borders get rounded. So what you need to do, you just need to again go to the style section in the head, and this is basically internal css, as we have discussed in the html css lecture, that table thtd border is 1 pixel solid black, border radius is 10 pixel. So if we read border radius something, so it will give us roundness. If I set it to 5 pixel, so what will happen? They will be less round. If I set it to 20 pixels, so they will be more round. If I set it to 10 pixel, so they will be like this. So you need to go to the head section, you need to add style, and then in table th and td, for example, you don't want these sections to be rounded, you want only the table, that outermost line, to be rounded. So what you will do, you will just remove this from here and you will run like this. So now these are, we have selected here, so border radius, that's why lines are gone, else you will have the lines over here. So this is how you could do table th and td. You could set the border and the border radius. Border radius will help you to get rounded borders. So this is how you could do this. And let us say if you want dotted table borders, so what dotted table borders, what you could do with the border style property. Now here you will use border style property, you can set the appearance of the order border, right? So these are the values allowed. So dotted is allowed, dashed is allowed, solid is allowed. Solid is basically straight line. Double is allowed, groove is allowed, ridge is allowed, inset is allowed, outset, none, and hidden. So what you have to do, you have to thtd border style, you'll use the property border style here, and if you want a dotted border, just give the property dotted. Now let us talk about border color. With the border color property, see, these are borders and you have different properties for it. So we have learned till now how to add a border. So you could use this border property, you could also use border collapse property, you could also write background color and roundness. Now you could also make dotted, dashed, solid, and these kinds of borders. So you could use it with border style. Now border colors also come. Border color is also a property. You can set the color of the border, whether you want it blue, yellow, red, or any other color. So these were all the borders, right? So these are all the CSS border value. We'll learn in detail in the CSS course, not right now. So use the correct CSS border values to create a solid black 3 pixel border on our table. So what we'll do, we'll just say 3 pixel, 3 pixel solid black. That's all we have to write, and we have to just insert the commas. So this is how you could write the answer. Now let us come to table sizes. So HTML tables can have different sizes for each column, row, or the entire table. You know, such a table could be created, such a table, or maybe a table like this, depending on the need. So first, let us talk about HTML table width. To set the width of a table, add a style attribute to the table element. So what we have to do, we'll set the style, the width to 100%. What will happen now? The first row. In the first row, you have this table head. Instead of TD, we will write TH as it is a header, and then we'll write TD in all the details. So we'll style and width will set to 100% so that the table is, you know, taking all the space on the web page, and it is written clearly. Now using a percentage as the size for a unit, using a percentage as the size unit for a width means how wide will this element be compared to its parent element, which in this case the body element. So what you need to do, to set the size of a specific column, add the style attribute on a th or td element. With this, what you can do, table style is equal to width 100%. Now for th you could also style width should be 70%. So let us see if you, so now the table was set for width to 100%, but here what we did, table style width will be 100%, but the header in the first name, you know, the first section, the first cell of this row, it should have width of 70%. So it took 70% area, and these are all in less area. So this is how you could set the first column to 70% of the table width. So what you need to do, you need to just go to the th section and style, and that is width is equal with 70%, right? Now let us talk about HTML table row height. So what you need to do, to set the height of a specific row, add the style attribute on a table row element. So what you can do, you could set the height of a second row to 200 pixels. So this was the first row, it was written normally. In the second row, what we did, we set the height of the second row to 200 pixels. So what will happen, such a row will be obtained like in this is see, this is the first row, this is the second row. So the height of second row is now 200 pixels as we wrote over here. So this is the second row, the first row was this first name, last name, age, and the second row has a height of 200 pixels, and the third row and fourth row are normal. So this is how you could increase the height of any particular row. Now this was all for table sizes. Now let us talk about table headers. HTML tables can have headers for each column or row, or for many columns or rows. So like you could have headers like these, or maybe, you know, in a column if you need header, in a column or in, you know, both you need, or only if you need a header, just a header for all the three columns. So how you can use it, we'll just see. HTML table headers. Table headers are defined with th elements. Each th element represents a table cell. So this is first name, last name, age, and these are all the data. Now vertical table headers. What you can do, if you need to use first column as table headers, so what you need to do, define the first cell in each row as a th element. See, this is the first row. In first row, the first column, the first cell is a th element, the rest two are td. And in the second row also, the first is th and the rest of the two are td. And similarly in the third row. So what will happen, the first column is now a header. Vertical table headers, as you know, when we you know, talk of the table, if we talk vertically like this, up and down, so this is known as column, and if we talk horizontally, left to right or right to left, that is known as a row. So this is how table headers work. You could also align table headers. By default, table headers are bold and centered. To left align, you could use the css text align property, that is You could, go to the style section and write th text align left. How? Let's see. So what you need to do, first you need to write, you need to go to the head section, you need to go to style. Now you will say table th, and this is all border and border collapse. Let us talk about th, that is the main thing. So here you have written th text align is equal to left, so all the header section will come to the left th. If I say shift it to right, so it will shift it to right. If I say shift it to, center, so it will shift to the center. So this is how you could align your table headers. Now you can have header for multiple columns. So for having multiple columns, what you need to do, so you need to use call span attribute on the th element. So like if you want name to be written over two columns, so when the first row has only two columns, so now what you will do, now here let's see this. So name is written over two columns and age is written over only one column. So we want such like that if we write name in the first cell, then it should write second cell there, right, over the like 1 2 3 if we count like this, and 1 2. So what we need to do, we need to use the call span function. So table style width is 100%. Now if we talk about this tr, now what will happen, th call span is equal to 2. So call span basically will what do, this name will come over two columns. It will take the place of one cell, and it will also take the place of another cell next to it. So call span is equal to 2. So this is how you can write it, a header that spans two columns like this. Now there are also table captions. You can add a caption that serves as a heading for the entire table. Monthly savings, like this, right? And one more thing, so for this you just need to do write caption before beginning any row or anything, table header or something like that. You just begin with table and write caption, and whatever you need to write, just write it there, and such a table will be, you can observe that. Now what happens is that when you have studied a function like call span, so there is something like row span too, right? So what will happen if like for example you are writing name over here over two columns. If you want to write something like instead of Jill and Eve, only one cell would be there, so for that you could use row span. I could show you with this example. Here I am using row span is equal to 4. For example, let me just open this with the live server. Like in the all four columns, company founder is written. If you want to create such a table, so what you need to do, you need to use the row span function, right? It is very easy. And you can also use t head for writing a header of the body. Instead of th, you could also write all the t head. So this is the first row in which you could write. So table can also be divided into t head and t body. So just be careful with this, and then you can create tr in the rows. And in t head you don't need to create a row, because in t head it is already act as one row. So this is how it works. We can also see some other examples also. Row span, how row span works. This is a easy one, like row 1 cell 1. So it is written like this. So if we see the code of this, so how it is written, so in the first column it is written column 1, column 2, column 3, and now here we have written row span is equal to 2. So it will take two rows, and in the next we will write only two for two cells. So as you can see, in the next we have only written for two cells, and in this we have got row 1 and cell 1 for two rows. So this is how it works. We have already seen this example, and you could make like a lot of tables like this using row span and call span. If you practice some of the questions like this, you'll be able to make tables very nicely and clearly. So you can see all the code. So this is the code, and you could create such a table, even a complex table. So now let us talk about padding and spacing. So with padding, what happens is that, you know each cell is divided and a lot of space is there, and text is written. You can write it, you can align the text whether you want to align it at left, right, or center. Here it is aligned in center. With spacing you can do such things that you will find a lot of space in the table. So now what will happen if you want HTML table cell padding? Cell padding is the space between the cell edges and the cell content. By default, the padding is set to 0. To add padding on table cells, use the CSS padding property. So THTD, you could do padding 15 pixel, right? You could also, do padding top, padding bottom, padding left, padding right. So what you could do, you could just use the CSS style sections, and you could use TH and TD. Now here you are using padding top 10 pixels, padding bottom 20 pixel, padding left 30. So what will happen like that, padding top, so here it is 10 pixel, bottom it is 20 pixel, from left it is 30 pixel, and from right it is 40 pixel. So this is how it works. You could also do padding. Now let us talk about spacing. So cell spacing is the space between each cell. By default, the space is set to 2 pixels. To change the space between table cells, use the CSS border spacing property on the table element, like we discussed for all the border colors and everything. We could also use for border spacing 30 pixels. Now let us talk about call span and row span. So if you need to create something like this, you know you could use call span and row span. So call span is basically for covering multiple columns. Like for example, here Fiesta is covering, see, for name it is covering what, two columns. So it, if here we will use call span. In April it is covering three rows, so here we will use row span. In Fiesta it is covering two columns and two rows, so here we will use both call span and row span. So now row span, now we'll see a example. So what happens is that if you want something like that, name Jill and he has two phone numbers, so here we need to add row span. So first we'll write the first column normally. Here name and phone is given in th, because this is header in the first column, so don't worry about that. But in the next row, what we have to do, we have to write th row span is equal to 2 phone, because there are two phone numbers. So you'll write normally, and in the next row what you need to do, you just need to write one more phone number that will come automatically here. This phone number will not come over here below the phone. Why? Because we have already written row span is equal to 2 here, right? So this is how it works. So this is how you could use row span and call span. Now let us talk about HTML table styling. So for styling, what you need to do, HTML table zebra stripes. So for zebra stripes, what you need to do, you need like white in one color, in the another row you have like some color, then in the next row you have white color, so alternate colors are there. So what you can do, you can write tr nth child even. So what you need to do, you need to just remember this. If you write, you go to the style section, this is all the CSS part, but still we are discussing it here. So if you go to table and you write border collapse, and collapse width is 100%, th and td text align is left, padding is 8 pixels, and for tr nth child even, you can choose for even. So second, fourth and sixth row like this it will be there. If you choose odd over here, so first, third and fifth row will be, the background color will be shifted to this. If you want some different color for even, so what you can do, you could just copy this, right? You could just copy this and you could write here for even. Now just change the background color to, let's say, tomato. So if you use odd instead of even, the styling will occur on 1 3 5 etc instead of 2 4 6. You could also do in for vertical straps. See, when you were doing in rows, so you were using tr, right? Now if you want to do for vertical stripes, so what you need to do, you need to do for td, right? For td you need to do like this. Now if you want to combine vertical and horizontal zebra stripes, so you just need to go and write tr even and th also even for that. That is why, because it was header, the first column was header, and you could also select td to be even. So now this is how, if you want such a output, so you just need to go tr and td and just set to both even, either both even or both odd, and then you can fix the background color. You could write it, see, we discussed this in html colors, rgba. So this is how you could use background colors, and you could, all the data and code is written over here, you could feed the data and make tables out of it. So this is how it works. Now there are some horizontal dividers also, first name, last name, savings. There are some, you know, such divisions, but there is no vertical division. So if you specify borders only at bottom of each row, you will have a table with horizontal dividers. Add the border bottom property to tr. So what you need to do, you need to go to again styling section and set tr border bottom property 1 pixel solid and DDD. So what will happen? Only horizontal lines will come and no vertical lines will come. And hoverable table. So for this, use the hover. So you could use the hover, and when you take mouse over this, so what will happen? It will change the color to blue. If you like take your cursor over here, so it will change. So hoverable means if you take cursor over here, so it will change its background color. So now what will happen? What you have to do, you have to write tr hover background color, this particular color, right? So when I, you know, place my mouse over here, so the background color will change. So this is how you could use hover element in this table row. This is how you could do this. You can see from here tr hover background color, this. So this is how it works. Now let us talk about the last topic, html table call group. So the call group element is used to style specific columns of a table. In this, if you want to style two first columns of a table, use the call group and call elements. So here you could you know, if you want to style two, so what you could do, you could call group. So each group is called a call element, each column. So it is used as a container call group. So what you could do, you could write call group and then you'll write call span is equal to 2. So what will happen, these two rows, these two columns, sorry, these two columns will be in the background color of whatever color you wrote here, and then you have to close the call group. So the call group tag must be a child of table element and should be placed before any t head, tr, td, but after the caption. See, when you create a table, the next should be caption if you want to write it, and after caption you can use call group, and after that t head, tr, and td, something like that. Now there are some legal css properties. There is only a very limited selection of css properties that are allowed to be used in the call group. So only width, visibility, background, and border properties are used in the css. Now there are multiple call, right? So for multiple call groups, what you could do, first call group, the span is 2, and for the next call group, the span is 3. So the first two will be of this color and the next three will be of pink color. So this is how you could create call groups and, you know, add different css things like font, background color, text color, width, and etc, etc. Now there are also some empty call groups with no style. So if you want to style columns in the middle of a table, insert a empty call element with no styles, right? For example, in the first three, you don't need anything. So what you need to do, if you don't need to style these three, but you have to mention it here that call span is equal to 3, don't style anything, don't give them anything, any background color or any text color. But the next call span 2, so basically you have to group columns. In the first three you don't need anything, in the next two you need pink color in the background. So you'll do call span is equal to 2, and you'll set the style is equal to background color to pink. Now you can also hide columns also. So you could choose the visibility and write collapse over there. So what will happen? The three columns, like the first two columns are visible, and the next three columns here in the style we wrote visibility collapse. So the column Wednesday, Thursday and Friday collapsed and they are hidden, and now they are not visible to us as the visibility is collapsed. So you could use this property, and here we complete all the tables of HTML. So this was a long topic, and I hope you would have understood to create, nice tables and all the CSS properties also. We have discussed a lot of CSS properties in this HTML course, so that's why it became a little bit long. Don't worry, in the next lecture we'll be learning HTML lists, and I'll meet you in the next lecture.